manage something important as qualifying for a World Cup. Right? As Mr. Hutton said, the next qualifying campaign is going to be even more difficult. This was our best chance. We get a group, Curacao, Jamaica, and Bermuda. We couldn't qualify from that group. No all the top teams was in that group. All Caribbean group. We couldn't even come first or second in that group. That's embarrassing. You know, very embarrassing. This is our best chance. Next World Cup is going to be even more difficult because America, Mexico, and Canada is back in the mix. Plus all the other superpowers from the CONCACAF. So how are we going to qualify? We can qualify from an easier qualifying campaign. And now we have a coach who has no experience at that level. So if he happens to retain King to the next World Cup qualifying campaign, he has zero experience as an international coach. So everything is on the job training. And that's not going to favor well for us at all. At all. So I don't expect anything good.
Earl Mango Pierre, same question. Trinidad and Tobago football, going or coming?
Gone. Yeah. Again, the problem with Trinidad and Tobago football is development. When you look at these players who are making our national teams, you could tell they weren't developed properly. They won't. And this is why they are only making lower division teams in foreign countries. You see? Now, I understand the last game we played against this local team in America, City, Louisville, and we lost. I understand what King is doing. There are players who, they're over there on scholarships, and he's bringing in the young players because right now, recruiting is all about young players now making it professionally. So I want to believe these young players, it was the first time they playing on that stage and they didn't really perform the way they should perform. Now, coming up is the Nation Leagues.
Yes.
And I know he's going to bring in the real professional players with some of the local players. Now, what I don't understand is this. When someone here, coach, is doing well, they get rid of him. Speaking about Steve Hart, he was doing well, got rid of him. And just recently, the Army team, Jocelyn did well, Theobald did well, and both of them is gone. Now they have a civilian coaching, and there's problems. There will be problems. But again, I'll go back to primary school level. We have to go back to primary school where there is proper coaching for these kids. But as we discussed before, there's teachers, some teachers doing the coaching, not qualified, but it's all about money to really get the real coaches in there, right? So if we don't, we're thinking about up here, but we need to fix down here.
All right.
Yeah?
All right. So, Mr. back with you now. So here is the situation, and I want to go back and continue from where you left off.
Yes.
When you look at the level of coaching in Trinidad and Tobago, currently, the level of local coaching, whether it be at the premiership level, whether it be at the secondary school level, or even the primary school level, how would you describe the level of coaching in Trinidad and Tobago and explain why you made a decision?
Usually I will say bootleg, because...
Usually you would say?
Bootleg.
Oh, bootleg.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, understand.
Yeah, bootleg.
Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, because you could tell these coaches, they're not very tactical, and when they come up against real professional teams abroad, this is why we are being blown out, because we see it in games. The coaches, the problem in Trinidad and Tobago, I believe, Andre, they're not selecting the correct coaches.
So stop in there. Huh? I want to ask you this.
Yeah.
So when they're not selecting the correct local coaches.
Local coaches.
So then they are good local coaches.
Yeah.
Good. So go ahead, continue.
Yeah. And that too needs to stop. You remember the last time I got interviewed, I said the right people has to get involved with the football. And you said the teams select the person. I don't know how that would change, but I believe
You're
if
talking
the
about
right people,
the administration.
Yeah.
Because it's the clubs that vote and the zones that vote.
Yeah.
And that has not changed, and that will not change, unfortunately.
unfortunately.
Right.
Well, then we're in problems because, as I said, we see it. The same coaches gets elected to coach the youth teams, and they will continue losing.
So we have so the conclusion is, I want to be sure.
Yeah.
Okay. You believe we have good enough coaches in Trinidad and Tobago?
Yes.
All right. Fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
Dion, same question to you, Dion Sosa. When I asked you about the level of coaching in Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, my belief is, this is my honest opinion, we don't have any local coaches to take us to that level. Reason why, local coaches have no experience to draw on. When you come up against other coaches, they lack tactical awareness and experience. So basically what you'll draw on, secondary school football or the pro league. So if you put in a coach at that level against somebody who probably coach America, coaching Europe and stuff like Africa, you know, you're out your element. You're out your element. And that's why I say, if we have to go somewhere, we have to get a proper coach, but the most important thing is we have to be patient with that person.
And let me ask you this question. I keep it there.
Yeah.
If the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association stay, and they have said this in the past, whether it be this administration or previous administrations, Dion, they have no money to pay for the level of coach that you are talking about. How you deal with that?
Okay, all right. Well, and FIFA has given us money, right? I think we have money, but that's like with the government, they start spending money. We have money in football, but I think the money is spent wastefully on things that are not really important, on trips and all that kind of stuff. So I think if they use the money allocated, it could happen. And they could have coaches who are reasonable. Because I can tell you from my experience, people have tried to be coaches, but maybe they didn't get selected because of favoritism and that kind of stuff. It have guys out there who experience, who offer their services to Trinidad at a good price. But for whatever reason, you know, I don't know what went on behind the scenes, they weren't selected as a national team coach. So my thing is, if you bring in someone, as I would say, the best thing to do, you bring someone and you give that person time.
But let me ask you this question again before I go to Arthur. Dion, you know in this country, we don't do that. You understand that as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, you yourself criticize people. You yourself impatient. Are you not an impatient man?
No.
No, come with that. I know you're impatient. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. So go ahead.
No. Like I said, I've always say this, right? I've told people this before. You bring someone here, you have two campaigns.
Right.
The first campaign is to get it started, you lay a structure. If you happen to qualify, well, you're ahead of schedule. But the first campaign basically is to set yourself up and set your structure up. If you happen to achieve it, like I said, you overachieve. But if you miss it, at least the players got the experience and you have the proper structure going forward for the second campaign. So now, you have guys now who been through that experience. They play in Mexico, they play in Costa Rica, they play in different hostile environments. So when they come into the second campaign, you have somebody experienced, so you're not relying on somebody inexperienced who not accustomed dealing with that type of pressure. So that's what I was saying.
But they have a lot of time when they say that they have specific coaches, gentlemen, who are tournament coaches. So they only come for a tournament. If they fail, they leave. So you know that as well.
Yeah.
Very hard, in other words, very rare that they will stay on after their team has not qualified. That's very rare to find.
Right. Well, I always say, you find someone who
You want a development coach?
I want someone to put a proper structure in place.
Okay, so you just don't want a tournament coach?
No, I want that, because you see, like I said, you keep starting over. The tournament coach come, he fail, you go to the next one. So you're not having no proper structure, no consistency. You see, that's what I want to see. I want someone to come and build something.
All right,
and
fair.
be around.
That's fair. I thought, same question. If I ask, which I've asked the two other gentlemen, the level of coaching in Trinidad and Tobago.
Andre, with respect to development, the first thing I'd like to see is whenever we have games, pro league games or what have you, at a high level, I want to see the children holding hands with the players and coming out to start with. Because I'll tell you why.
Why?
No, I'll tell you why. That will help with the development, Andre, because listen.
Because the little child walking out on the field?
Yes, Andre, listen to me. Listen to me.
I'm listening. I don't have to agree, but go listen.
Well, keep quiet, please.
Go ahead. You go ahead now. You go ahead now. You
Right?
go ahead. You go ahead.
Why I'm saying that, Andre, what we tend to see is they have coaching programs. Somebody will have a coaching camp and that kind of thing and make money. But to do that, yeah, players. But to do that, you must get these children more involved.
Stay on point.
Right?
I asked you what the coaches.
Yeah, tell me that. Right, okay. Also to Andre, this friend thing, that had to stop. Who know who and who like who. Because when you elect a coach, they tend to pick their friends. I don't know if there's anything we could do about that. I tired talk about that. Imagine I was in an interview with Dennis Lawrence. Dennis Lawrence came back to me, Hutton, this is goalkeeping coach. Hutton, how come you never say for the national team, everything you say is true, everything you say makes sense. Dennis Lawrence interrupted me about 3 times and telling me that. And listen, and I never even forget, this was when he was selected.
But this is not about you.
No, not about me. I'm talking about quality coaching.
Right.
This is what I'm talking about. No, I just say my name, but quality coaching. Right? That's what I'm talking about. And I won't give you no joke today.
So the level of coaching in Trinidad and Tobago, you're taking too long?
No, I tend to take long to explain myself.
This is not your love life.
Listen, Andre, we tend to take goalkeeping for granted, boy. If you watch the World Cup too, Andre, it's keepers that on the teams, you know. Right? And so it is locally here, the same mistakes you're seeing. You're not seeing the keepers calling on the players to come back and defend, or to mark a man, or to carry him by line. Nothing at all. Everybody quiet. Going to catch a ball, take a cross ball. Quiet. It had a clash, I think, a serious clash with 2 players. I think it was with a keeper in the World Cup. Right? And you're not seeing that communication at all. It appears as though the goalkeeper alone versus 11 men.
All right, the level of coaching in Trinidad and Tobago, you still didn't answer that question.
Right. Well, Andre, the politics, we need to select the right people in the right positions.
So,
too much politics. Look, Jack, right now, Jack.
Hold on now, man. Stay on the point. What is the level of coaching in Trinidad and Tobago? All right, well, you take so long to say that, boy?
No, I just don't want to answer in one sentence.
Why?
After explaining why.
Why? You think people have time to listen to that? Anyway,
that's the problem. You see the problem? The problem?
Explain yourself.
Don't want to listen. Explain yourself. Don't want to listen to what the goalkeepers think.
Nobody.
The goalkeeper is the most important man on the field, Andre. You should know that.
Say that point. Dion, you agree with that? The goalkeeper is the most important man on the field?
Well, the only person can't make a mistake.
That's the only thing. That would make him important.
That's the next point.
When I coach, I tell kids that. I say, look, a defender could slip.
That's right.
And a goalkeeper will make a save to pull him out. But when he slips, most of the time it will result in a goal. So the goalkeeper has to be very careful in mistakes he makes. Most of the time it will result in a goal.
Right.
So as I always tell them, that one person can't make a mistake, a goalkeeper.
Thank you very much.
Let me just, not correct Dion, but let me say this. When Dion said we need international coaches, more or less, we had international coaches, and Maturana, other coaches who failed because of the players, right? And this is where I come back and say, developmental of the players have to go back from the youth, developing them the right way. Maturana said that we have a lot of talent. We always say we have a lot of talent, but the players need to be enhanced, some word he used, right? The only coach took us to the World Cup was Leo Benaka, because his players played top football abroad. EPL, Scotland, Portugal. We had a bomb squad team. So we did qualify, of course, with the help of Uncle Jack. We know that, right? So unless we go back to basic with the youths, first touch, passing, running off the ball.
So why would an organization not want to go back to the basics and exactly what all of you all are saying, but following on from what you have just said earlier?
Yeah.
Why would an organization who wants to succeed not do that?
Because I want to believe no organization could have a dictator. Because what I get to understand, like when JDW was there, God rest his soul, the committee that chooses the players, they resign. This was Dr. Henderson and a whole crew because of how Mr. JDW was behaving. Fast forward, the new president, Edwards, I get to understand it's the same type of behavior where he choosing the coaches or whatever. No, there's supposed to be a selected committee to do that. You know who did this perfectly? He passed away now. Tim Key. Mr. Tim Key, Raymond, was a professional, and remember he had 3 posts. He was the treasurer of P&M, he was involved in CPEP, and also football. And he was the one went back to playing the big teams like Argentina, I think he played China, and this is what
under David John Williams, we did play against Japan as well. Eh?
We
did play some fairly good teams too as well.
Because after Tim Key, David came in and he continued the motion, which was correct. But again, as I said,
so you feel a dictator? I have a different take. I actually feel that a dictator is the best person in Trinidad and Tobago football because they have too many individuals in Trinidad and Tobago football who want to run it individually, and they will always have a lot of fight. The executive might be about 7 or 8 members, and everybody fighting everybody. So whenever bring in Dion.
I would say we need a proper structure because you can't have a guy like if they hire me as a senior team coach, right? How could I be, let's say I play in a system 3-5-2. You're on a 20s playing 4-4-2. You're on a 17 playing 4-3-3. And next group player. So when the players come through and they reach up to my system, they will be confused. Yes. So I want to have a proper structure. You have a structure where the teams are trained the same way and they're learning the same system and they're learning the same way to play. Right? Patience. Who
listens to that? You know, in this country, unless you get somebody to say, when Jack Warner them was there and they say, this is what it is, everybody follow it. Whether they like it or not. Sometimes being a dictator, it works. Unfortunately, it's not something you love, but people have to toe the line because everybody go feel they know better than the other. If you give everybody a free chance, every man Jack in Trinidad feel is a coach.
Yeah. No, that dictatorship, I have learned there's good dictating.
That can be a good one.
Yeah, there's flexible too. You have to be flexible too as a dictator. Because, like I said, if I am in charge and I come and say, okay, fellas, I bring in this guy, whatever country he come from, and this guy is the guy I have appointed to put a proper structure in place. Everybody has to fall in line with this guy. They say, man, this is my guy, I bring him in, and he has his people in them, and he's going to do the structure for us. If you're not willing to fall in the structure, I'll replace you and bring somebody else who has to fall in the structure.
Here's what my thinking is. If you're the dictator, go ahead. But if you're the dictator and you fail, go your way. Because if I am in charge, and ultimately I am going to be blamed if the team do bad. So if you're going to be blamed, and I pass it on to, I say, well, after you do what you want, you only do what you want, but then I end up being, okay, well then I forget that. Let me tell you, I tell you what to do because I ultimately going to be held accountable. And that's the problem.
Let me tell you a true story. When we sacked Bertil, right, they contact Mr. Binaka. Then the first thing Jack told Binaka, I want to appoint Latapi and Colin. You know Binaka tell him, you crazy. I am bringing my staff. I am doing it my way. And that's what he did. The whole entire staff was Dutch. Anton was an observer. You see? It was the other way. It was a local coach. You know what happened? He had to take who Jack gave him. But Binaka told him, no, I am bringing my staff and I'm doing it my way. If you can't do that, do not hire me. I'm not coming to work with local people. I am bringing my people from Holland who I trust and who know what I want. And see what the result was? Qualification. You see?
I know. I can tell it wrong now. I can tell it wrong and ask you this. When Dwight York come, you bring people?
Okay. Look at
Jack wanna say some with grey hair.
Okay. Well, look at the difference, Andrew.
Go ahead.
The staff, what Binaka brought, look at the credentials. They played in the 74 and 78 World Cup. They coach at the highest level in Holland. His staff, what's his staff?
His staff means York staff, you mean?
Right, York staff. No experience coaching at no high level. Right?
But hold on, before we go to the break. But one of them coached with Manchester United.
Who coached in Manchester?
The fellow called Wood.
He was not no coach.
All right. On that note, we take a short break to the Manchester United man here. I don't want him to cry. I don't want him to cry. You don't want him to cry in shame. Wood was from Manchester United. All right, Wood. And he gave us Wood. We take a short break. We'll be back.
Knowing how to tell authentic is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Find it, match it, search it. Step 1. Find the style number on the tag. Step 2. Match the style number inside the jersey with the number on the tag. Step 3. Search it. A quick Google search of the style number will verify the jersey is authentic when the search results match the jersey being searched. Don't be fooled by counterfeit jerseys. Before you buy, remember to find it, match it, search it.
Fan Zone, 2 locations nationwide. Center City Mall, Chaguanas and Movietown, Port of Spain. Nationwide delivery available.
Bill and Ruth fell in love with the Benjamin Moore color Dry Sage, but they tried to match it using another brand's paint.
I mean, it's close enough.
Almost identical, really. Yeah, there it is.
Never trust another paint to be a Benjamin Moore color.
In this day of stay-at-home and work from home, home has never meant more than it does today. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or build your new home, now is the time to get going. Gittins & Gittins real estate agents are here to take you to that place of your dreams. Let us take you home. We help you find that rental to rest along the way, or journey with you to find your home destination. Investors and commercial enterprises too, call us and we'll walk the distance to place your business in just the right location. Owners, leave the headaches to us. We'll find your tenants or buyers while you stay at home. We'll even manage your property at your bidding. Anything real estate, come home to Gittins & Gittins Real Estate. Call us at 760-3280 or 747-1220 or visit us at 16 Fifth Street in Woodbrook.
Stroke is a leading cause of death and disability worldwide. Globally, 1 in 4 adults over the age of 25 will have a stroke in their lifetime.
Usually you would then have a conversation with the relatives, let them know exactly what's the status, what you were thinking.
We're not really ignoring them. We are acting on the patient at hand, after which we tend to communicate to them.
Yeah.
We are tackling the hard-hitting topics, some controversial topics, some topics we sweep under the rug. You don't always have to forgive in a relationship for it to move forward.
If it is you are in a situation where you forgive the person, but to the detriment of yourself, what are you really doing?
It is very uncommon for somebody in the younger age group to have dementia.
Atheists don't not believe.
Is that I can't disprove God, but you also can't prove God, so we kind of have a stalemate.
We'll focus on the woman who's being the victim,
right,
or the man who's being the victim. We exclude the children.
Folks are trying to study the underlying brain mechanism to figure out how does this particular disorder happen in the brain? How is the brain processing this?
Don't worry about AI, worry about humans working with AI.
Are you willing to learn new skills to stay relevant for the future job market? That's the challenge that people are going to struggle with.
Welcome back. This is WESN Content Capital, Face of Sports, and we're talking about the Trinidad and Tobago football. Is it going? Is it coming? Let me come to Arthur Cotton. Arthur, when we were there, we were talking about the level of coaching. You gave your thoughts on the level of coaching in Trinidad and Tobago. So let me ask you this. As you see it right now, in terms of development, if today or tomorrow, because this is the job you want, if today or tomorrow you are appointed Trinidad and Tobago's goalkeeping coach, much to the surprise of many, except those of us who hear you every time talk about goalkeeping, what would be the first thing you would do? One thing alone, eh? One. What's the first thing you would do?
And I think I would start with seeing that everybody knows about shot stopping, diving and stopping the ball and that kind of thing. I think the first thing I do is sit down with them, lecture them, and let them understand goalkeeping, especially as a team. It's not you alone against 11. As a team, explain them why and how important that is. Goalkeepers hardly talk, or talk very little or none at all. They just do that. I see a goalkeeper crash into a defender. That shouldn't happen. Once you call my ball, you're supposed to get out of there or run on the goal line because the keeper out the goal. You know, so these are the things. Communication with your defense, main thing. I would start with that.
And from your perspective, when you look at the level of goalkeepers we have now, we're not calling any name, but the level of goalkeepers we have now in Trinidad and Tobago, how would you describe what level as compared to the past?
The past had better goalkeepers. Number one in my view was old Spider-Man, Granville, next good goalkeeper.
John Granville.
John Granville. And probably Brown, that is Michael Maurice.
Michael Maurice?
Yeah, he might have number
sun
3.
in the eyes?
Yeah, that's same one.
Sun in the eyes?
And it had a gap.
Right,
it had a gap after the first two. Yeah, that's my choice. Yeah, right?
I don't agree with it, but that's your choice.
No problem. There's somebody I left out. Ulovell, but he was a little too short, I find. Goalkeeper, shorter than Will Carter.
So that's who you consider?
Yeah,
that's yours. All right,
you have to look at that. You have to look at that as well, your height.
No problem, no problem.
That's very important.
Dion, your main area, and we were talking about that, is all about the midfield. When you look at the Trinidad and Tobago midfield, and in the past you had men like Russell Latapi. We don't have that right now. That is one of the major problems we have in Trinidad and Tobago football.
Yeah, well, I always tell people, one player we have never replaced is Russell Latapi, a goal-scoring midfielder, right? Who could get off a shot, both right foot, left foot, could pass the ball anywhere, free kicks, corners, set play, magician. We have never replaced Russell Latapi. Nowhere, since he retired, we have never replaced Russell Latapi.
A lot of teams have that problem. Yeah.
I always say that. That's one player. We have replaced other players, but we have never had a player like Russell Latapi.
You seen anybody at all coming up?
Not as a midfielder. Okay. We rather, you see the problem here in Trinidad, right?
Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, Trinidad and Tobago. The problem with Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, sorry.
Right? I want them to be get vexed. Right. You know, these days they vex. They itchy. They itchy.
See, the mistake is the players take too much time on the ball. Right? As I was telling when I'm talking to the kids, I say, look at how the other players play abroad. They play basically 1-2 touch and they release the ball. Before they release the ball, they look around and see for the next pass that's coming. But in Trinidad here, they get a ball, they had a wrap over the ball, they had a fan 5-6 times before you make a simple pass. And because you allow time, because the game here is so slow. So players now get in this habit of holding on to the ball. When they go internationally now, they get dispossessed because you don't get that time and space internationally. So how are we teaching players to release it if the football here is so slow and methodical? And that's what they grew up learning. Hold this ball, hold this ball, hold this ball. So by the time you get them as a national team coach, they already have these bad habits. How are you going to deprogram and then reprogram them back? And in 3 or 4 days' time, it's impossible. So you see how hard, that's why I talk about the structure. If you have a person come here and put in the structure, they have you playing a certain way from young. So by the time you reach up into the senior team level, you have come to 14s, 17s, whatever, playing this way. So you're familiar with the style that the person asking you to do. When you bring a player 17, 18, and he play one way, when he come up to you now and you ask him to play another way, how are we going to do that? All his career he playing a certain way. You see, so if you have the structure in place where the youth systems from from 12 up playing that way, as you come progression, you come through the system, if you happen to make it all the way to the senior team, you'll be familiar for what I am asking you to do. Because I've been preaching this for the last 5-6 years. So by the time you reach to me at 18, 19, you're familiar because I've been saying it over and over and teaching you over and over for the last 5 years. So it's going to be like second nature. You can close your eyes and you can play because you're comfortable in what I'm saying to you. But if I come into you 3 or 4 days before a game, I ask you to do this, you'll be going around telling people, but this man mad, boy. This man mad. This man asking me to do something totally different. I've never done this before. And that's what's happening right now. You're bringing a coach in who probably coming in 3-4 days before a game and asking this person to work a miracle, which is we keep doing over and over and expecting a different result. That's madness.
Let me hear you. Okay, go ahead. Let me hear your thoughts.
Well, I'm going to speak like an American because I am an American. I always tell people, I left there at 15, but I'm a Trini to the bone. But in America, Mexico, Canada, what Dion is talking about, I believe it have a structure from the youth, go straight up. So how come Trinidad and Tobago didn't have that since a long time ago? Yeah? Now, you found about Michael Morris. It wasn't the sun in his eye. He's nearsighted. He sees the ball in the reach here. And I have proof. When Earl Spider-Man Carter, they come in, you know they're having a reunion. The 1986 team, they're having a reunion. It's going to be held at the Home of Football. I would like you to interview a couple of them. Because, Andrew, the truth has to be spoken about 1989. And a book has been written about 1989 where it's going to tell the truth exactly what happened. Yeah? But coming what Dion said about Latter P, and there's no player like him.
Correct, yeah.
We have players that could have done it. Hardis. I have a player in New York called Erasto Knights. You know about Erasto Knights?
From Mali.
Erasto Knights, when his mother put through his papers, he had to come to New York. This is the same time the 2006 team was playing. If I was the dictator, I would have been following Erasto and making sure he's coming on that team, because there's some you could speak to him, I don't know, with the contacts. As I said, if Erasto Knights was on that 2006 team, it's over. It's over. Because the guy had left, right. You ever saw him play? Personally?
Yes, I never saw him play.
Whoa, this is why I have the DVDs. I'll show you.
Listen. Good names there. Huh? Jamota as well too. Top player. But yeah, he's a train.
Erasto Knights took him to Jersey, semi-professional league, between him and Marvin Oliver. It was a wrap. And let me tell you something why I went there. I went there to beat the Haitians because of what they did to us back in, right. And they fall in love with my team, supporting them. So again, we had players on that level. And you know what's the next problem? The players never played together. I saw Erasto Knights with Hardis, and it played for the national team, over. That's when, what's the manager? He passed away from Trinidad. He was Williams? Mr. Baffett had them. But I'm going to give you the DVD. I promise you, and you can see.
All right, I know you wanted to come in. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. We talk about development, Andre, yes. And we talk about systems. Yes. I spoke with Derek King, and what we agreed on, he hasn't called me back as yet to set a date, and so was we have a roundtable discussions on goalkeeping. So it's not a one-man thing. It's a roundtable, and everybody discuss and put in the points. So we have one way of goalkeeping, and which is what I'm talking about, which he agreed to. And I would really like to see this going indeed to help us, and we see goalkeeping being taught in Trinidad and Tobago, and we'll be steps ahead, you know. We'll be steps ahead of the competition, right? And I think that would be a good way to take goalkeeping forward, because to win a World Cup, you have to have a good goalkeeper. It had to be real outstanding, but real good, because we don't have that ability. Like if a team scored 3 on us, we go score 4. I don't think we reach that level as it, right? So
we can't score once.
Right. So we had to be very tight in the back. And there's where the goalkeeper comes.
I want to just switch a little, because we've been talking about development. Hold on. So we're moving far. We're talking about development. So I want to start, and I'm going to start with Dion here. Dion, secondary schools football. Let's talk a little bit about that. We know that there was a confusion, but it has been sorted out now. The ministry, and they come forward and they have the money, right? Everybody, Tobago can play football again. Right. Forget that. So secondary school football. Recently, I was speaking with other persons, and there's a belief, and I want to get the panel belief here. The standard of football currently meaning the last 2 to 3 years, because we haven't seen this years yet, but somebody say players generally, right? the standard of football at the secondary schools level? Because we all talk about Russell Latapi, we could talk about Dwight York, all of them came to at a particular time. Leon Soon Lewis, if you go back in the time at a particular level and a time in secondary school football. If I ask you now, and I am asking you first, and then I'm going to ask Arthur, and then I'm going to come to Earl. If I ask you first, the standard of football, because we're looking at Trinidad and Tobago football and we have to start somewhere. I know we should start at the primary, but most of us don't get a chance to see primary school football as we should. But secondary school football, standard right now.
Very poor. You see, before we used to have, I would say, maybe 12, 14 teams, solid teams, right? Top teams. Now we have probably 1 or 2. And all the rest is watered down, because the reason for that is that it's about recruiting right now. So the top teams recruit the best players.
Explain that.
Okay, like basically you have schools that they operate like a football club. So what they do, they go out and they raid all the other teams and like the other small teams, and they take the best players. It's premiership, and then you have championship on different levels. So like for instance, I will go and look at some players playing the championship division, and I will take the top players and bring them to my school. So you gather all the top athletes and they run over mediocre athletes, and that's how you win. And then they call you a big coach.
So that is happening now a lot?
Oh, every year you see players coming from Tobago and playing in Trinidad. How is that? Why are you leaving Tobago to come to Trinidad and have Tobago schools? Then you have somebody living Sandy Granny and go to school in South. That is madness. You have somebody in Port of Spain, living in Port of Spain and going to play.
Are there schools that do it more often than others?
Yeah. We know the schools. I want to call on names.
I know.
But it has schools just naturally operating like football clubs. They recruit. So like all now, like before months now, they're recruiting. So they just getting all these athletes together on one team.
Why? Just to win?
To win, yeah, to win. This, and then think about it. You have, what's wrong in secondary football is the age. You can't have somebody 20 years old playing against a 14 and a 15-year-old. Why are you 20 and you still in secondary school? So these have a cut-off age of maybe 18 years old.
There's no cut-off age right now.
There's no cut-off age. If that man 21 years old finished school at 21, that one player, he leave NAPS. At 22 years old, he finished at 22 years old playing for NAPS. What are you doing at 22 in school, in secondary school? 20, you're supposed to be in university.
Finishing.
Right?
But do these schools give scholarships? You get scholarships?
Well, like I say, it depends on what the coach looking at, because it's not everybody. You see, that's into what his problem is. A lot of these coaches don't care about these boys. When all they care about, you come and you win for me. They don't care if you go to class or not.
All right, stay there. Arthur Hutton, level of secondary school football.
Yeah, 400 is not top of the line at all. And we keep talking about, what do you call it? Village, going far and bringing children from far, distance.
No, but stay on secondary football. You drift.
No, I'm not drifting, Andre.
God.
Listen, we talk. Check
No, because I want to stay on secondary school. I don't want to stay where we are.
It's not up to standard, Andre. It's not up to standard, in my view. And we need to start at that level or before.
Secondary school football.
Since I've been back,
yeah,
I've been around the football, helping out St. Anthony's College.
Okay.
And what I see, again, players are not making the top division schools in America because of their talent. I don't think, Edian?
They have the academics, but there's no talent.
Yeah. And that's the problem because of the league. I came back in 82 to join police service, and that time thousands of people used to go to the game, top players. I never went to see any game, just know of it. Glasgow and these players from Malik, that's when it was football. But then after that, it just dwindled down because, as I said, because of the development. Now, I can even go further. You see, when the drugs came into our country, Andre, that was a serious stumbling block with regards to the football and what was taking place in the country. Now, as he mentioned, you remember back then, Latter B&M School was the name of it?
Sandotech.
And John Lee. They used to be up there, and then they decided to cancel that because, again, I guess it was advantage, or right?
The age of the players.
Age of the players. So now they go back to, again, and remember, outside, there are 16-year-olds, young players making it professionally. So this is why, again, I go back to development. Now I'm hoping, you know, Gary Griffith is bringing out a professional team. And I spoke to him, and he has a lot of great ideas. He's a visionary.
All right, but you drift. You're drifting. No,
I just want
stay on point. Go ahead.
That's what you remember. So certainly remember that we still need badly, what is lacking badly in Trinidad football is a left footer, boy. We don't have a depth left footer. And that is something we need on a team, I think. You know, because when you kick in corners especially, right, every time you kick a corner from either side, one side is going away, the next side is coming in. We want it coming in all the time. In my view, that's how it should be.
Now we are talking about the problem is that we do have balance in the national teams. I'm going to explain to you what balance is, right? You're picking a team, 11 players, and 10 are right-footed. And you have one left-footed man. So you have no balance. So the team will always be drifting to the
So
right.
we have left-footers, but they're not selected.
That's the problem. When you're selecting a team, if you're only picking players who can only play with their right foot, you're always going to be going to your right-hand side.
But you're friend with the coach at Latapi and everything, and why you ain't tell him that you come here now and then with your friends, and you ain't tell him that? That way you're trying to tell us, Dion? Asking you a question.
No, well, I didn't contact him with the senior team. I thought when he's coaching the youth football, when he had the 17s and the younger group, I would talk with him. But when he went and thing with the senior team, I never called him or tell him anything because, I mean,
why?
They do, huh?
Why?
I want to sit back and watch. Let me see what
so you rather trying to make a lose? You rather trying to make a lose?
Okay, listen what I'm saying, right? These fellas are
who is these fellas? Okay.
Russell might say something,
yes.
But at the end of the day, you see what's calling the shots, right? Because he's an arrogant person like that. So you might talk to him and tell him, well, hey, do this and do that. He go watch your show and he will do what he wants to do because that's just how his personality is, right? He's an arrogant person. So he see what you do, and what goes it? Of course, the country. Because I can't understand. We play in Jamaica in a must win, but you play in defensive. A draw come like a loss. So if you want to come out against Jamaica, you want to come out all guns blazing because it's a must win game. That draw, Jamaica seal our fate. But I rather go out and we lose 7-5 or 6-7 or 8-9. At least I going out attacking and I'm going to play defensive in a home game against a must win game.
Let me ask this question. Let me start with you, Arthur. When you look at the players outside of Trinidad and Tobago, because that's where he was going. So I'm bringing you back to the point you wanted to go on. When you look at the players outside of Trinidad and Tobago, you were going to mention, are you seeing quality players now that they have the grandparents' law? If we don't have the players here, are you seeing players like that, Arthur?
Not really, Andre. Not really, Andre. But they might have a little edge because of age too as well than some of the local players. And basically, that's one thing in the last several games that we play. I watched them, and I didn't see much difference. And we still lost. We still lost the game. I didn't see much difference. Don't see the goalkeeper who saved well. He was on the short side, but you can't be diving all over the place. You have to put your players in position.
Any players on the outside, you think?
A lot. But let me say this, Andre. I'm not going to call any names.
Okay. No problem. Okay.
There's a professional team coming out in the West.
In the West, as in
West.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
And I'm saying, I spoke to the ones who are running it, and I said, listen, you have good ideas, but we have to get players back in the top division leagues abroad.
Of course.
And that is most important. And my money is on it that it will happen with their vision. Now, coming with the players outside, that's the best thing. Coach, what's his name?
King?
No. Dwight York?
Dwight York did. He went for the players who's playing on the level for professional teams. Yeah. Look at what's his name going to the next team, little white boy?
Rio Cardi.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And these other players, again, old-timers, their sons were able to be on the team. Guys from
Dante Sealy.
Yeah.
Sealy.
And his father was under me.
Yeah.
Call again.
Guy Griffith's son.
No. From Ken Henry.
Ken Henry.
His son. He was playing in Europe, right? And he got injured. And he's back playing for Trinidad. So the players are there. But the thing is, your local players, they're players that could fit in. Like the Solia.
No money, no?
Nah. Play forward, striker.
Okay, Rian Moore.
Right?
Yeah.
There are players that could fit in. And this is why King brought them back. You remember Angus didn't have them.
No, Angus had Rian Moore.
No, at the beginning.
Dwight didn't have Rian Moore. Dwight didn't have Rian. Dwight.
All right?
Yeah.
So yeah, the players are out there. And I love what I've seen, but the players in Trinidad and Tobago, we have to keep them in a program and you cannot be depend on,
all right,
you know.
Players outside, of course.
Let me tell you something. I am a coaches chat, and I tell them all the time, no right-thinking person who ambitious is not going to come here and play for Trinidad, because when you Google Trinidad, it's total madness. So don't fool yourself. Any right-thinking player who ambitious, why would I give up my right to play for England or play for Holland or play for Belgium to come in this madness? Why would I do, as a young player, I watching this, when I Google things, I see coach getting fired left, right and center, and people ain't getting paid. I will give up my eligibility to play for these mad people. I have to be going mad too. And no right thinking, young, ambitious player is going to come and play for Trinidad and Tobago if they don't fix the problems they have here. Simple as that. You can bring who you want to coach here. When the coach go and talk to that young boy and say, you know what, I like what you're doing, I want you to come and ball as Trinidad and Tobago as a national player. When that player sit down on his phone and he Google Trinidad and Tobago, do you see? We rank 102 in the world. Yeah. These people crazy, coach getting fired. Why would I leave Belgium? Why I could go to every World Cup, right? I'm reaching quarterfinals and above, and that kind of stuff. I get a chance to play with all these top Belgian guys, to give up my eligibility to go and play for my mother or my grandfather country with these mad people. I'm not doing that.
You think
so what about are you seeing the talented players outside of Trinidad and Tobago, or you feel that, because Earl mentioned a good point, in terms of playing at the top level, in the top leagues, we don't have anyone apart from Rio Cardines right now.
Well, we have players in the academy at Tottenham Hotspur who qualify through the grandparents. But like I said, these guys looking at England.
Yes,
they want to be English internationals. They're going to the Youth World Cups for England. And these things in place. When last we qualified for Youth World Cup? 2009. So we're seeing there's no progress going on right now. Why am I giving up my English eligibility where I could come and play in the Premiership to come to play for Trinidad and Tobago? You see that guy never come, Bosnick? Look how much time he turned them down. Because he playing in Belgium and he making his money. What he going to give up is his eligibility for Belgium to come and play for Trinidad. Even though he never played for Belgium, but he's still, you know, there's nothing here. There's no proper, like I said, no proper structure. There's nothing allowing to want somebody to come in.
How can that change? That would not change.
It changed with a coach. It changed with a coach. Because if you have somebody who could go and sit down, you maybe convince a couple of them. But if they're looking at you and you, like I say, I will say, Zidane went to Real Madrid. I know he got success. All the players respect what he did as a player and who he is. So he got these big egos to believe in his thing. So if you have somebody with a big personality who could go and sit down with these boys in them and say, look, I have a vision and I'm going to get 2 campaigns to do this right. Do you want to be on board?
You know what to just say, let's be fair. Dwight York probably had the biggest track record of all the Trinidad and Tobago players in terms of overseas-based players. If there was one man, maybe one of the decisions taken by Trinidad and Tobago Football Association was that Dwight York, more than anybody else, I think we have to be honest and say that, more than anybody else could make an appeal to outside young players to come and play with Trinidad and Tobago because he's the best known.
Right. But I was saying, but the problem with Dwight York is, when the players them sit down on the phone and they Google Dwight York, he have no experience. They're not coming. They're not coming. Right?
But a lot of players did come though. A lot of players came.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, not no quality players. That's what I'm saying. To get the quality young players.
So you feel like still there's still quality outside players outside there?
But I'm saying you have to have a high profile coach who can demand that and who will have that respect. Right?
So you're talking about a coach not only in terms of playing career, but coaching career.
Coaching, pedigree, right? Look at Advocate. You see what he do? The first thing when he come, he pull everybody who can't make Holland to play for Curaçao. A local Curaçao man ain't getting that to happen. But you see the players will trust Africa because he coached at the highest level, he coached at PSV, he coached the national team in Holland. So he will get that respect. He will bring those players to the Caribbean. You see? You understand what I'm saying?
All right. So I'll tell them to come to you. Nations League, let's talk. Trinidad and Tobago are going into the Nation League. It's going to be the same question to all of you before we take a break. Arthur Hutton, Trinidad and Tobago will be playing in the Nation Leagues. We've been drawn in a group that includes Haiti and Curacao. They will be all major, well, those are the teams we will be playing against: Haiti, Curacao, and the Dominican Republic. We play one game against Haiti away from home. I understand the game will be played in Jamaica because Haiti obviously can't play any games at home, right? Then we play against Curacao away from home. We play against Curacao at home, and we play against Dominican Republic at home. What are our chances of winning, of coming out of those 4 matches with success? Let me hear you first. Same question for all of you. Let's start with you first.
Yeah. I don't know, Andrew. I doubt you would make it, given the quality of teams we're coming up against. And in saying so, remember we mentioned about the American and Mexico and others who would be in our...
it's only these teams in this group. So stay there.
But remember, we have those to play. And I don't think we could match up with these small teams, so-called small teams, and then come to... Or do any damage at all.
First, we have to come out of these... What is going to happen?
I don't think we'll come out.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me hear you, Dion.
How can we come out? Any domestic football playing in Trinidad and Tobago? Right. You know all these things in advance. You know when the league is going, the nation is going to start. We have football stuff, since February in Trinidad. So basically, you have no local team in training. So what are you going to do? You're going to depend basically on all the foreign players to make up the
squad. So even though I understand there's a local team in training, the coach has called a set of local players in training.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been told that.
All right, well, like I say, you don't hear nothing about these things, but I am... Excuse me.
Sorry, that's okay.
Right. I am not very optimistic because Haiti now come off our World Cup, right? And Curacao has come off our World Cup, so I think they will be building and they're probably recruiting more people from outside of those countries who will qualify for, to play because they see, hey, we qualify now, let's build on this. So I'll be surprised if it's 4 teams, I probably will come out at 3rd or 4th.
What are your thoughts on those games? Dominican Republic on paper appear to be the easiest game, on paper, but go ahead, yes.
If we don't get our act together with defense, we're going to continue to have problems. You see, I like to talk over games I see.
Of course, it's okay.
And he's the goalkeeper expert. We have goalkeepers could save, but they have to do a lot of extra saving because of the defense. Perfect example. Again, the 1 goal Louisville team score was 2 players, Andre, was in the 6 yard.
Yeah.
This defender on the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
How this one passed to this one, he scored.
Yeah,
he could have passed back to this one and scored.
Yeah.
Where were the defenders?
That's right.
And that was a normal thing
that's
with our defense.
Yeah.
Now parking the bus. We love to park the bus, and I understand with Angus even them, because they know the problem with the defense. But in football, you must defend and attack. Yeah? So the coming up games, I think it will be the same thing over and over, unless he get the international players to come in, because you know that was a problem too. They wasn't coming because they weren't being paid. Now we just mentioned there's a team in training.
A local team.
Are these players happy? Because the league that finished, teams have not got the money, championship money, army, prisons, so forth and so on. So, what are we doing? Where are we going? We have to fix this football.
Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
And Dion raised this point earlier.
Yeah.
The fact is, of course, that the zones and the clubs are the ones who decide on the president and all of the executive.
Yes.
That we know, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on which side of the fence you're on, will not change.
Yeah.
So how can what all of you here want happen if the clubs themselves are happy? Clubs, the zones, referees association, all the people that could vote, basically, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Secondary school football league have a vote too.
Yeah.
So all the people who could vote, they happy. How can you change it?
Again, there's a new sheriff in town in the West coming with a team.
They have one team.
Yeah,
they only have 2 votes out of the 45 or 46 votes.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I said that if they continue, he could be president. He could be president because he has vision and he's very patriotic. So my money's on him. This has to change, because if it doesn't change, Mr. Haddad and the Normalization Committee might have to return. I know in countries, if anybody Google, it happened to Argentina before, this one before, until they get their act together. So let's hope it doesn't reach that point where teams are complaining about the monies and the TTFA president and board of directors. They're not listening and they don't care. So they have to go.
But okay, so you feel? Do you feel? I'm going to go to Dion after.
Yeah.
Do you feel that, as you mentioned, and you share everything, Tom?
Yeah.
Do you feel that one person can make that impact?
No. As I said, he has to have a committee with him, and if the right people is involved, it's going to change. No more. This one is getting favors to the zone.
What land you living in? La La Land?
No, I'm a Christian.
And that is perfect. And that is perfect.
And I believe that we cannot remain this way. Things have to change.
If all of them had your sort of thinking, but I want to say I don't think they have your thinking, right?
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Dion, can it change? Honestly, let's be honest. And what Earl is talking about is ideal. Well, let me hear you.
Okay, well, let me explain to you. You see, people don't understand how the footballers work. You could change 100 presidents. The executive is not changing. That's the problem with TTFA. You're changing the president, but the people who are actually making the decisions don't ever change. So I don't know, people don't know, they don't understand how this works. What I mean by that is basically, when you have an election, all you're basically changing is the president and probably the general secretary. That's it. But the people who are actually making the decisions, the executive is in place. So whoever you put there, come like a toothless dog. You understand what I'm saying? They have no power because the executive is the ones who made the decisions and do the voting internally to pass things and that kind of stuff. So the person on top, the president, he basically just a puppet and just pulling the strings from, from behind. And until they change that constitution, right, where the executive is always in place. No matter, I can be president, you can be president. When we go there, every time we go and we present something, they're going to vote against us. And nothing is going to pass. So when they could put me in charge, I could go and be the president. But when I go in front of the executive and I say, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to bring in our guy, we're going to have a structure. Let's have a vote on it, fellas. The executive shoot me down one time and say, nah, forget that idea. What can I do? I don't have the power to appoint the person that I want because the executive shoot me down. You understand what I'm saying? So I can be there for 4 years and they go come and say, I was a failure for the 4 years because I have no executive power to make decisions. And that's how the thing is work. It's a body that votes on things that people, the president, and then present. So until that structure changes, the person in charge basically don't have any power. You're just there like a figurehead, but you don't have no power.
So there's an executive in TTFA? That's
yes, executive. Yeah, the executive. That's the one who's making the decision. It's a voting thing. The president come and you present what you want, your proposals, and then you vote if we're going forward or not. So if they shoot you down, you can't do anything.
So who on the executive?
It's a whole list of people.
Yeah, whole people. Yeah, there's a lot. A bunch of dinosaurs on the executive.
7 or 8%. So in the old days, you remember if you go back into the old days of Mr. Warner or the camp, you used to hear they had an executive meeting and there never was no executive meeting because they rule it. They rule it without that handicap for whatever the word. So you take all the pressure. After we go to the break, from your perspective, can that change? Can the system change as gentlemen here would like?
Yes, Andre. I think so because people have to come. Everybody have a brain. People have to think and say, hey, we losing. They had to do something, and as he said, the new kid in town, Gary Griffith, I think he will change things. He's a strong marketing person, and back up if he get good support to help him do the marketing as well, and spread the word. We have to have a change, Andre. We can't keep continuing. So
you know it has to have a change.
Exactly.
Can it happen?
I go to positive and yes.
Question nobody is asking. You know what the question is? what is the big disconnect between the football and the fans? That's the question nobody. The football and the fans. Football, nobody is going to support football again. Nobody. You realize that, right? It's a big disconnect. And that's the question we need to ask.
Yeah, but we know we know what it is.
What did you say about
because the level of football is not like before, and people doesn't want to see that.
You see my jersey?
Is that the answer, or is it the locations in terms of, for instance, a man who supports Manchester, whether Manchester United playing rubbish or playing good, they're backing them.
Yeah,
whether Arsenal playing rubbish or good, they're playing in their area, they come in and support it. That has changed. There's no community football.
Exactly. That's killing the football.
Teams in the league playing in
stadium. And far
away from home.
Right. Okay.
What's the problem?
Look at what I will say too. If you go back to the communities, here we will get. If you have a Carnage-based team, and all the players from Carnage, you're going to get the support. But if my son from Carnage playing in South, how much people are going to support my son? I will go because that's my son.
Yes.
His brother will go. And his family might go. But the Carnage people is not leaving Carnage to go to South to support my son who is playing for a South team. You see what I'm saying?
That cannot be avoided because if he's contracted for that team, like the new West team, we have players not from the West playing. And they come in because of where the game's going to be held in in the stadium down West.
In Carnage?
No, in the Martin.
Well, you see, that's what I'm saying. That's what we have to do. I always say the blueprint of the Pro League is totally off.
Yes.
What you have to do, you have to put the clubs back in the community. You identify a ground, you fix the ground, and you hire a caretaker of the ground. That person's job is to take care of the ground. And you have a ground, and you say, okay, we are the St. James Lions.
Yeah.
Right. We play in the new ground in the barracks. When it have a game, the community in St. James is going to come out and support St. James Lions because they can identify with St. James Lions and they want to come out. And then, so you can generate a little revenue. Say you charge a little $20 for a game. If you get a crowd of maybe 1,000, 2,000, you make a little revenue. But when you go in the stadium, nobody is leaving to go in and be 20, 25 people in the stadium. Trinidadians don't like stadiums. They like community with the rope or your fence around, and you come and you watch the football. If you do that, and then you can say too, when you adopt the program, you ask the businessmen of St. James to support the team.
Agreed.
Things hard, but if you get, let's say 100 businesses in St. James, contribute $1,000 a month, right? 100 businesses. Right? You're getting 100,000 every month, guaranteed for the sponsorship.
Yeah. And who
right?
had the right vision? Arthur Sweet.
You understand? That's what you need.
All the football was supposed to be in the communities.
Right? That's what you need.
And our football today, players will be playing for top teams abroad. If they had allowed Arthur Sweet with his vision, not take out the football away from the communities, but now they're trying to put it back by fixing the fields, no problem. But fix our field, please. Is that dirt field? Yeah, by book.
One extra book.
Opposite.
Oh, okay.
That field?
And I corporation fix
put down a AstroTurf field. Fix Mova.
They go tell you they have no money for that. No, I just telling you what they're going to say. That they have no money for that.
The Tyrant sponsors.
Mango. Yeah. That same ground you're talking about is a sports company fix that ground?
Which one is that?
Book, yeah. One next to the school.
Yeah,
if you go to the islands, Curacao, there's AstroTurf field, put down a turf field. That's my point.
They're going to tell you they have no money.
Nova and
which one?
Barataria. You see that field here? I tell you, American. The first time I saw St. George's College, Andre, here what I saw.
Wait, hold on. When Trinidad play in America, who will be backing?
Eh?
When Trinidad Tobago play in America, who are back?
What colors are we in?
No, because you keep saying you're American.
Yeah, but I back in Trinity. But I know we are beating America.
We just beat America.
How?
That's one team we just beat now. We just beat them.
When?
The last time we beat them in Angassi, and then beat them 2-1 right here in the stadium 2 years ago. You forget that one?
That was a thing called the bullet.
Yes, Alvin Jones scored. We beat them. Then we don't beat them. And before we beat them already, we forget Alvin beat them again and make them not score. They forget it. All the Americans just forget.
And you forget, and when we return,
When we return?
Let me explain that.
You bring money and you made a trade.
Let me explain. Alvin scored the goal.
Alvin Jones scored twice against them.
You know what we do? When we came back, we attacked Alvin Jones' position, had him spin neck at top, and Trinidad gets 6.
They got 6 twice.
6! That's what we do.
6 twice.
6 twice.
We just beat them in Trinidad.
No!
We just beat them in
Trinidad.
We don't beat them in America.
But let me tell you about this game. Boom! I don't know if it's a woman.
What?
No, I'll explain it.
Oh, a woman.
Did something to our defender when he sent a kiss to the referee.
What are you talking about now? What game?
America against Trinidad, Angassi was the coach. And the defender played for Barcelona, sent a kiss, and he get a red card.
That's what I mean.
Let me explain something. Even the Americans say, what's going on to you? That don't happen. You know what the coach had to do? Because they're still afraid of us. Trinidad, they're afraid of Trinidad. They take off the midfield general, Rena's son, Blondie, and put on a defender. You remember Rena's son who mashed them up?
What is your point? They lost.
The point is that if he didn't do that to the referee, Trinidad get. You remember the tree?
Don't give me no if. Tell us, man, they don't have if in football, you know.
You remember the tree?
They don't have if in football.
You remember the tree? They get when they park the bus.
Which day?
Angassi and his team get 3 goals 10 minutes to go.
No, hold on.
Because they park the bus.
That's Trinidad and Tobago you're talking about?
Yeah.
I want to make sure.
But we just come back. Anytime Trinidad and Tobago beat me, come back and drop.
But you
don't have double citizenship.
You could
change. I'm an American.
You could change.
I'm a Trinity.
Yeah, you could change. All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we have fun Fridays. We take a short break here. We've got a man who is a Trinidadian, but really an American.
Yes.
We'll be back.